Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Cindy here at CBJ Stitches, and it is time for a new Flosstube. I am a day late today, or this week, because Labor Day. It is currently September 1st, and I got a paid day off, which is amazing. I haven't had a job that does that in quite a while, so I was very excited, and I got to do quite a bit of stitching this weekend, so I just kind of wanted to be able to stitch today away and then come and show you everything. So, what have we got? We got more things to show than last time, and kind of a different way to work on things. So, I'm gonna overwhelm you with Big Brother stuff. I apologize. It's really what is guiding my decision making when it comes to projects. And there should be one here. Trying to think. Maybe not. I had Monopoly this week. One of them I ended up trading properties, so I didn't stitch. One was beading. I did 200 beads on Mythos, but I don't have it here with me. It's the one I showed you last time. And then I feel like I did a little bit of stitching. Oh, I did 100 stitches on something I was already working on for Big Brother. So we will get to that in a moment. So yeah, all of the decision making right now is Big Brother related. So, Jessie Marie is the one that came up with the Big Brother game. She approached me about it. I said, let's go for it. We worked it all out last season, right at the end when there was like 7 people left. And so I was really looking forward to it happening this year. And so she ended up developing a Facebook page, or she's in the process of developing a Facebook page. And so that started this last week, I think. And because of the way, spoilers, right? We're not posting like who each of the things is, so it's not super spoilery, but if you're paying attention and you notice trends, you can start to figure stuff out. So to limit that as much as possible, I'm not, even though I have finished week 1 through 3. So I've got a little bit in 4, a little bit in 5, a little bit in 6. I showed y'all last time how I've kind of worked a little bit of it, but not all of it. I didn't want to be posting things from weeks ago. So I'm only posting current events. And so I felt a little awkward to post for current events, not stitch for current events, and go and stitch for something in the past. So what I decided to do was to work on week 7 as it happened, as I watched the episodes and things came out to the best of my ability, because with some of them being bigger stitch counts than others, I sometimes get a little behind. But, and also while I had the project out, I would go and stitch for previous things. So I'll explain that a little bit more as I show you things. So first things first, and this is something I've kept up with from the beginning, is Head of Household. So for me, Head of Household is a daily 100, and this week it was on the Aristocats. So here is where it's at, and I will explain. So I started out doing just all the black in this project, and now I finally finished that. It is completely outlined, and now I can go back and do color. I wasn't going to move the Q-snap, so I just started working on the color in the corner, and we'll go from there. So for Head of Household, it got worked on. I don't work on it the day we watch, which is Sunday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 6 days of daily 100s. When I got finished with that on Saturday, I went back and looked at previous weeks and found that there was a little bit more stitching that could be done with this. I don't remember the exact numbers or what they were for, but I put those in here, and this was completely caught up until Sunday night when it needed another 100 stitches, but that's okay. So, and I did that today, so it's caught up too. So everything for this season that has needed to be stitched on this has been stitched. It is completely caught up. Now, this player is still in the game, at least currently, so it has every opportunity to come back out, and I'm really excited because, as you can see, I'm getting to sprinkle some of the color in there. So, like, I picked the blue, and I worked it here, and I don't think it was anywhere else. But then with the green, I got to sprinkle it in. There's a little bit there, and then along the bottom here. I'm trying to stay within the pages that are inside the Q-snap and just kind of fill it in. And it looks so good. It's so exciting. This is something I got on Etsy. I think Cross Stitch K or something like that was the name, or Cross Stitch M was the name of the designer or the Etsy shop I bought it from. So I don't know whether or not you can find it. It's called the Aristocats. It's got all 3 of the kittens on it, and it's in this bag, this Marie bag from the Aristocats. Yeah, I thought it was upside down at first, but it's just some of the, anyway, from Stitch and Button. So that worked out super awesome. So like I said, it's caught up currently, so I'm going to assume at least until Wednesday or Thursday, that I'm not going to need to work on it. So I'm going to put it up, and if we have to pull it out again, we have to pull it out again. That's fine. So there is that. It is completely caught up currently. All right. So then the next thing that happened in week 7 was nominations. There are 3 nominations, and I put 100 stitches in for each one. So one of those was on Star Dragon, and so I put the nominations for 100 in here, and then I went and found in a previous week where I know there was a nomination, and there was also, I believe, a blockbuster. So I put those in. And then later in the week, this person won the veto. So then I had to go back and put those stitches in. But up until last night, this was completely caught up. Now, I do need to put 100 in for nominations. I haven't gotten to that yet. So this will actually be second on my list for tomorrow. First will be this week's HOH, and then 100 on this, and then we'll move on from there. So like I said, I'm trying to keep with the current week and then work backwards. And since I did that with this last week, then when I do this week's stitches, it'll stay current. So that's why I was kind of thinking, if I do it like this, I'm staying current while also catching up, and it's actually working out really well, and I'm very happy with it. So this is Star Dragon from Owl Forest Embroidery, and I'm working on this page. You can see I made it to the corner, and we're going to turn and come down and fill it in. So, and this is on a 40 count. I'm doing it a single thread to 1/2. So it's looking so good, so good. All right. And since obviously I need to work on it tomorrow, I'm not going to put it up. It's going to go like that. All right. Another one of last week's nominations. I'm trying to think. So that's this week. Last week's nominations. I'm trying to think. Was Soul Tropica. But that was literally the only stitches I put in this one, because they didn't do anything else this week, and I wasn't behind previous. The only other time we've seen this person, she was HOH, and so those stitches were completely caught up. So this is Sol Tropica from Bella Filipina, and it got 100 stitches this week. So we get to see more projects, but not necessarily a ton of stitching. There's nothing currently going on with her, so I'm going to assume that we are okay to put it up. I try not to keep 1,000 projects in the house, and I don't have 1,000 projects, but you know. And so whenever I don't have an active need for it, I go and put it in my stitchy shed, and then I go and pull it when I need to. And I have a little box by my where I sit and stitch that I keep things that need to be pulled for whatever reason. Okay, so that was second nomination last week. I'm trying to remember. So we had Star Dragon, Sol Tropica. I should have brought my book in here with me, because now I'm like, what happened? That's this week. That was... I want to say it was this one. No, it's this one. Okay, so this one I kind of did... I hadn't gotten around to doing the nomination stitches for last week on this one yet, and then they were re-nominated this week. So when I pulled it tonight to stitch on it for this week, which is 100 stitches, I also put 100 stitches in it for last week as nomination, and that was the only stitch. It's caught up currently. So here is Black Roses from Owl Forest Embroidery. This is a newer start to me. I started it in June, put in the 100 stitches and just kind of set it aside. And so I don't even know if it got, excuse me. I don't even know if it got shown on here, and if it did, it wasn't much. So it got another 200 stitches put in it tonight, and that was a lot of fun. I'm using wrought iron for the castle and most of everything. Green is going to be all the vine, and the roses will be in red. Well, it's a red to black, or red to dark red. Silks for You, it's PR 210. So this is going to be the flowers. You can see a little bit of it there. It started out that dark, rich red purple, and then went to a little bit brighter red. And green is mistletoe. So I can't wait to stitch on this more. So we'll see what happens with her this week. But currently it's caught up, so we're going to put it up. I actually wouldn't mind seeing this person get the veto or something to that effect. One, so that it gets more stitching, and two, because I'm not necessarily ready for them to go home yet. All right, so that's gonna go, no, back to the shed. Okay. All right, so those were the 3 nominations and the blockbuster, right? The veto. The 3 nominations and the veto. All right. So then once we veto somebody, we have to put somebody else up. So the person that got put up was Amethyst. And this did have stitches necessary from our previous week where they won the veto. They were not one of the nominations. They were one of the people that could win the veto and take somebody else off the block, protecting both themselves and the person they pulled off. I want to say they decided it was the 1 week we did not use the veto so far. So that actually made for less stitching that week, which was kind of nice. But yeah, so I pulled it out for her renom, which is 150 stitches. Then I needed to go back for the veto. I want to say week 5, I think. And it was like 220 stitches for that. pretty sure. And then they got evicted. So this is the last we're going to see on Amethyst for a little bit, but it is all caught up and looking so good. I think I have one more row after this one. Then that's going to end this page. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go back and fill those in or if I'm going to wait till I get to the bottom of the Q-snap. Part of me is wanting to fill it in because you see all these strings where I've parked them because these aren't solid. They're like 4 different colors or 2 different colors or whatever. So that's why I was doing all the solid diamonds, and then I was going to go back and fill in. And you can kind of see it right here. This I started to do it just to use up the thread. So anyway, I'm excited. I want to work on this some more, but alas, she did get evicted in week 7, and so that is that. So this one is definitely getting put up because unless it gets pulled for Monopoly, I don't have any other reason for it to come out currently. My Monopoly boards are going pretty slow at the moment, so I feel like it doesn't influence my stitching as much. All right. Then, let's see. I'm trying to remember. Can't remember how this one came to be. Okay. This one I think was one of the nominations. Black Roses. I really can't remember. Anyways, I think maybe this one came out because it was a previous week. So I had caught up on everything week 7 and went back and started on another week, I think is maybe where this one came into play. But this is one of the Big Brother players. You've seen it a few times because of that. And I got completely caught up on this one too, I believe. Pretty sure. So we've hit the edge of the page. So all of this above here is completely to the edge. I started on words so that we can, just work our way down the page. This is Moonlight Sampler from the Blue Flower, and it is on a 40 count Verdal. I'm doing 1/2. I just love Verdal. I feel like that's slowly where all my projects are heading. Especially these big ones, because this is a big project. But I'm loving the way it looks. So currently this one's caught up, and it will get put up for a while. At least the rest of this week. I know this person is not. I mean, outside of playing Veto, possibly, we shouldn't see any action from her. So, there's that. She was on the block this week. How is... Trying to remember. Anyways, unimportant. Oh, look, I have this here. Okay. Let me see. So, nominations. That's the wrong week. Nominations were Soul Tropica, Star Dragon, and Moonlight Sampler. So, those all got nominations. And then Veto was Star Dragon. Renom was Amethyst, which was the one that was evicted. The Blockbuster. The Blockbuster was also on Moonlight Sampler. So I need to go in and put that Okay. All right. So that gets us through last week, and like I said, a little bit into previous weeks. Now, yesterday was Sunday, and so we watched Big Brother, and we got a new HOH. And so this HOH has a category, not a whip, and the category is checklist. So this is anything of my goals that I'm behind on. Last time this person was up a lot, I got a lot of work on World Postage Stamp. It's been a little quiet for this person, and now they want HOH. So this week, Daily 100 on a checklist project. The checklist project I picked was Fairy Tale Lands 1. I need May, June, July, and August, and September on this project. Am I going to get all that with HOH? No, but we're going to get started on it anyway. So my monthly goals for this is a motif. Sometimes when the motif is really small like this one, that means multiple motifs. So there's going to be like a walkway that's all backstitch. And then I'm going to finish up these mushrooms too for May. And then in June, we're actually going to work on, I believe it's Alice from Alice in Wonderland. So those will be the things I'm working on this week. But so far, Monday stitches 100 in that little cookie there, or ornament, or whatever it is. So this is Fairy Tale Lands 1. I finished Fairy Tale Lands 2 last year, and I did it using this method. And this one's not going to get finished anytime soon because I had a lot less done on it when I started doing the one motif at a time. But because of all the color changing in the projects, I needed to give myself smaller bites when I work on this versus just working on it. So that's why, like I said, it's going to be this ornament, these mushrooms, and some back stitching over here. The character is really big, and honestly, it should probably be 2 months, but we're going to call it a month, and etc., etc., etc. So I have it broken down, but as for Big Brother stitching, it's just, right now it's just 100 stitches each time. And then when I finish the 2 things that I'm working on as motifs, then I'll call May done, move on to June, and cross it off the checklist. So there is that. I'm sorry, I'm not at the best angle, and every time I sit back, I feel like I'm almost out of the camera, but making it work. All right, so that is all my projects. Oh, this one doesn't need to get put up because obviously I'm gonna stitch on this one first tomorrow, then Star Dragon, because that will, I think, get me caught up on nominations for this week. So this week's nominations are Star Dragon, Aristocats, and Black Roses. So I showed you that I did the 100 on Aristocats and Black Roses. Once I do the 100 on Star Dragon, nominations are caught up, and I'll be good for a day until we get Wednesday's veto and renomination. So I will be working on back weeks. Some things that, because of the person being evicted in previous weeks, obviously they're not coming up now to start on them and then go back. So this will be the time that I just pull one of those projects. I have Coastal Band Sampler, Ladies Who Lunch, that I need to catch up on. And there's another one, but I cannot remember what it is. Oh, Gift of Giving. Those 3 were all previous week evictions that I haven't caught up on yet. 4, 5, and 6. So those will get sprinkled in as I get done with the current stuff. And I think in that way, I'm getting caught up faster than I was when I was just trying to work on previous weeks. I'm not quite sure if that's how it works or if I've just had more stitching time. But that's how I'm doing it right now. Like I said, my Monopoly rolls, One didn't require me to do any stitching. One was beading. One, I think I did the 100 on Amethyst because it was of my choice or whatever. So there's that. That is everything. It was a really chill week, which was nice, because things are about to get busy again. I know that this week I have to take the car in for an oil change. I have a senior mom meeting, and I think somewhere in there I need to fit in a doctor's visit. Don't have anything this weekend. And then next weekend we have a party. The weekend after that is homecoming and my daughter's birthday and my mother-in-law's birthday, and it's gonna be madness and chaos for a few days. And then the weekend after that is my husband's birthday, and then I might have some free time again. So it's fine, it's great. Again, I'm starting to feel a routine coming on. Things are getting progressively better, and I'm just excited. So it's another pretty short one. I think this is gonna be how they kind of go now, but yeah, it's what is the word I'm looking for? It's productive. It's full. Like, I have things to show you. Anyway, so if you're new here, welcome. I hope you saw something you enjoy and keeps you coming back for more. If you're a returning friend and subscriber, thank you back for coming back week after week. I truly appreciate you. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, all the ways that you show you love me, and I will be here next week.